Have you ever found yourself wondering how those major policy shifts actually happen, especially in fields moving as fast as uh, digital assets, crypto, NFTs, all that?
Yeah, it often feels like things just sort of appear, doesn't it? Like a new regulation drops out of nowhere.
Exactly. But there's always so much going on underneath, right? Years of work sometimes.
Absolutely. What we see publicly is usually just the final act after a lot of behind-the-scenes effort.
And today we've got a perfect example. We're doing a deep dive into a press release from the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services. It's dated July 3rd, 2025.
Right. And this isn't just any announcement. It really pulls back the curtain on a pretty significant push in Congress.
Yeah, it sets up something they're calling Crypto Week, which is scheduled for the week of July 14th, 2025.
So our mission, really, is to unpack what this crypto week actually means. We need to look at the specific laws they're planning to tackle.
And that big overarching goal they mention, making the United States the, quote, crypto capital of the world.
Mm-hmm. It's quite a statement. We should also look at who's saying what, the key players in the House and Senate.
And trace the history. How did we even get to this point? It's not like this happened overnight.
Definitely not. It's a great case study in how policy actually gets made.
Okay, so let's start with the big announcement itself, a Crypto Week. It sounds catchy, but it's clearly more than that.
It is. The press release from July 3rd makes it official. You've got House Financial Services Chair French Hill, Ag Committee Chair G.T. Thompson, and House leadership all making the announcement together.
For the week of July 14th. And they're not shy about the goal, are they?
Not at all. They explicitly say the House wants to take historic steps.
Yeah.
The aim is keeping the U.S. as the world leader in innovation and, well, specifically making America the crypto capital of the world.
That's a very direct ambition. It's not just about keeping up, it's about leading.
Precisely. It's a declaration of strategic intent, really, both economic and technological.
And they've laid out the agenda for the week. 3 specific pieces of legislation.
That's right. They're looking at the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, and the Senate's Genius Act.
Those names definitely send a message. Clarity, anti-surveillance, genius.
They do. I mean, Clarity suggests they're trying to clear up the regulatory confusion the industry keeps talking about.
Right, the uncertainty that everyone says holds things back.
Exactly. And the anti-CBDC one is pretty clear. It's about central bank digital currencies, the digital dollar idea. This bill wants to block it, citing privacy concerns.
Okay, so that's a definite stance on CBDCs and genius.
Genius, coming from the Senate side, sounds like it's focused on fostering innovation, maybe creating space for new ideas to grow. These aren't just random bills, they're products of ongoing work.
Let's get into what some of the key figures are saying. Chairman Hill from Financial Services, what's his focus?
Hill emphasizes a few things. First, a clear regulatory framework that, importantly, safeguards consumers and investors. That balance is key.
Consumer protection, yeah.
Yeah.
Always a big part of financial regulation.
Right. He also mentions setting rules for the issuance and operation of dollar-backed payment stablecoins. So, specific rules for stablecoins.
Which have been a hot topic. Getting those right seems crucial.
Definitely. And he brings up permanently blocking the creation of a central bank digital currency, again, linking it directly to protecting Americans' financial privacy.
And he credits colleagues and the Trump administration for a partnership, so acknowledging the political context there.
Yes, and that sets the stage. Hill touches on the 3 main pillars: market structure, stablecoins, and CBDCs. Speaker Mike Johnson echoes this.
What does Johnson add?
He frames it as delivering on President Trump's digital assets and cryptocurrency agenda. He mentions the same 3 bills, Clarity, Anti-CBDC, Genius, and praises the teamwork between the Financial Services and Ag committees.
So very consistent messaging from leadership. It sounds like a coordinated push aligned with the White House's stated goals.
It certainly seems that way. It signals a unified political direction.
Majority Leader Steve Scalise chips in too, right?
He does. Scalise links these bills to the president's pro-growth and pro-business agenda, framing them as part of a larger economic strategy. Again, consistency.
And Majority Whip Tom Emmer. He's been quite vocal on crypto for a while.
Yes, Emmer really emphasizes the values angle. He calls it a historic opportunity for American innovators to build here at home.
Rather than going overseas, presumably.
Exactly. He stresses that the digital economy needs to reflect American values. He lists privacy, individual sovereignty, and free market competitiveness.
So it's not just about the tech or the money. It's about embedding certain principles.
That's his argument. He sees these bills as protecting privacy and fulfilling that promise of making the U.S. the crypto capital based on those values.
Interesting framing. What about Chairman G.T. Thompson from the Agriculture Committee? Why ag?
Well, the Ag Committee often has jurisdiction over commodities, and how certain digital assets are classified as securities or commodities is a huge part of the regulatory debate. Thompson specifically flags the Clarity Act, dealing with market structure, as long overdue.
Market structure, meaning, like the rules for exchanges, how things trade.
Basically, yes. Defining how digital asset platforms operate, how assets are classified, who regulates what, it's fundamental. Thompson mentions hearing calls for this clarity from countless innovators, creators, professors, lawyers, and constituents during hearings and roundtables.
So highlighting that this isn't just Congress pushing, but the industry and others asking for it.
Right. It suggests the legislation is responding to a perceived need.
Okay, let's look beyond the House leadership. Are Senate voices chiming in on this press release?
They are. Chairman Tim Scott from South Carolina praises the House moving forward on stablecoins and looks forward to the Genius Act passing. He uses phrases like cement American dominance and, again, protecting consumers and preserving financial freedom.
That makes, again, leadership and protection.
And Senator Cynthia Lummis from Wyoming is also quoted. She's known for being pro-crypto.
Right. Wyoming has done a lot in this space at the state level.
Exactly. She draws that parallel, saying Wyoming's been working on this for nearly a decade. She expresses excitement about a president who sees the value in digital assets.
And what does she hope to see?
She wants comprehensive stablecoin laws, clear market structure rules, and importantly, ensuring any potential CBDC work respects privacy and financial freedom. So similar themes, but maybe a bit more cautious on the CBDC front than an outright ban, focusing on specific principles if it were to happen.
Gotcha. Any other House members mentioned?
Yes, Rep. Brian Steele from Wisconsin. He's quite bullish, declaring the golden age of digital assets is here and the U.S. will lead.
Strong statement.
He believes passing these bills, stablecoin, market structure, CBDC ban, will help the U.S. win the Web3 race. He connects it to innovation, consumer protection, and outcompeting adversaries.
So adding a geopolitical competition angle there, too.
Seems like it. And finally, Rep. Dusty Johnson from South Dakota calls for common sense regulation. He wants rules that allow blockchain tech to grow and thrive. He specifically mentions wanting to pass Clarity and Genius and prevent a CBDC.
Okay, so across the board, even with slightly different nuances, there's this consistent message. Foster innovation domestically, set clear rules, protect consumers, and address privacy concerns, particularly around CBDCs. It's a balancing act they're trying to strike.
A very deliberate balancing act, it seems. And crucially, this crypto week, it didn't just spring out of nowhere. The press release itself makes that clear by detailing the history.
Right, it wasn't a sudden decision. What does it tell us about the lead-up?
Well, for starters, it points to recent op-eds. Chairman Hill and Thompson and Whip Emmer all published pieces in CoinDesk fairly recently, June, April, February of 2025, just reinforcing their commitment publicly.
So keeping the drumbeat going in the relevant media.
Exactly. And then there are the concrete legislative steps. Committee votes are a big deal.
What votes happened recently?
On June 10th, 2025, the Clarity Act got reported out of both the Financial Services Committee and the Ag Committee. Financial Services was 32-19. Ag was a very strong 47-6.
That Ag vote, 47-6, sounds like pretty strong bipartisan agreement there.
It does. Suggests broad consensus on needing some kind of market structure rules, even if the details are debated elsewhere.
What else?
Back on April 2nd, 2025, Financial Services moved two other bills. Rep. Steele's Stable Act, that was 32-17, and Whip Emmer's Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, which was 27-22.
Okay, so the CBDC ban at a tighter vote shows maybe more division on that specific issue?
Potentially, yes. It shows the legislative gears grinding, moving these bills forward step by step.
And it wasn't just votes, right? There were discussions.
Oh, absolutely. They held a joint public roundtable on market structure in May 2025. And they released a discussion draft of the market structure framework even before that, also in May.
Which suggests they were trying to get feedback, collaborate.
It indicates an open process, yeah. Trying to incorporate different views before locking things down.
And hearings. Lots of hearings usually precede big legislation.
Definitely. The Subcommittee on Digital Assets, Financial Technology, and AI was busy. They held hearings on market structure in April, digital payments and CBDCs in March, and one titled A Golden Age of Digital Assets, back in February 2025.
So really digging into the details, getting expert testimony.
Yes, that's the purpose. Gather information, identify problems, shape the policy based on evidence and expert input.
And this effort goes back even further, involving the White House.
It does. In February 2025, Chairman Hill, Thompson, Senator Scott, and Senator Boozman announced a bicameral working group with David Sachs, who was named President Trump's White House AI and crypto czar.
A working group specifically focused on
Payment stablecoins and digital asset market structure. That shows high-level coordination between Congress and the executive branch early in the year.
Wow. So this has been building throughout 2025, but you mentioned earlier it goes back even before that.
That's right. The press release highlights work from the previous Congress, the 118th, which ran from 2023 to 2024. That laid a lot of the groundwork.
What happened then?
Well, a big one. In May 2024, the House actually passed the first comprehensive digital asset market structure bill. It was called the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, or FIT 21.
Passed the House with bipartisan support.
Yes, significant bipartisan support. 71 Democrats voted for it, along with 208 Republicans. That's a strong signal.
Even though it didn't become law then, passing the House is a major step.
It is. It says a precedent, shows where consensus might lie. They also passed the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act in the 118th Congress, though the vote was closer, 216-192.
So they've passed versions of these ideas before.
And on stablecoins, the Clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act passed out of committee back then with a 34-16 vote. That served as a basis for the current Stable Act.
It really paints a picture of iteration, doesn't it? Trying, refining, building on previous efforts.
Absolutely. And the release notes that then Subcommittee Chair Hill held over 10 hearings just in the 118th Congress on these topics: market structure, stablecoins, CBDCs.
10 hearings. That's a lot of groundwork.
It is. It shows this wasn't a sudden rush. It's been a sustained multi-year effort to understand this complex space and figure out how to legislate it. Crypto Week is clearly the intended culmination of all that work.
So let's try to wrap this up then. We've gone through this Crypto Week announcement. We looked at the key bills: clarity, anti-CBDC, genius.
Right, and the consistent messages from leadership and other members about wanting the U.S. to lead, set clear rules, protect consumers, and safeguard privacy.
And crucially, we traced the history: the op-eds, the committee votes this year, the roundtables, the hearings.
Going all the way back to the legislative efforts and groundwork laid in the previous Congress, the 118th, it's been a long road.
So what's the big takeaway for you listening to? I think it shows just how much goes into these policy shifts. It's not just politics. It's a detailed multi-year process.
Absolutely. Understanding this process, the hearings, the drafts, the votes, the working groups, is really important if you care about innovation or privacy, or just how new technologies like digital assets get woven into our economy.
It definitely matters for anyone in the tech or finance space, or just interested in where things are headed.
For sure.
Which leads us to a final thought to leave you with. As Congress pushes to make the U.S. this crypto capital of the world, what do you think the long-term effects might be?
Yeah, what are the implications globally for financial systems, for tech innovation itself, and for our own financial privacy?
And thinking ahead, what other challenges pop up? How do you keep balancing regulation with tech that just keeps evolving so incredibly fast?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's clear this legislative push is a major chapter, but definitely not the end of the story.
Something to keep watching.